Okay, day number 3. This is the spread that I pulled this morning during my meditation. Just looked this up. And before I get started on going over the cards and explaining the cards, and learning the cards, I should say, explaining and learning at the same time. During my meditation, after I pulled these cards, I was focusing on the question that I've been focusing on here the last 3 videos, of what do we need to know. So just a general collective question for anybody that might catch this video that, needs to hear a message. But while I was meditating, I mentioned in my second video that I do get visualizations, and I see in a very graphic way. If you know who Andy Warhol, the artist from the 60s, prominently, a little bit before then, but he was a very graphic artist, and everything was he was most well known for his Campbell soup cans. I believe they were lithographs is what he did. They were screen prints. He also did Marilyn Monroe and so many famous people, in Liz Taylor, my mother's favorite. Hi, Mom. So the first thing that I visualize when I close my eyes and I'm sitting here having my coffee and just trying to clear my mind and meditate, I saw like a branch of pine needles, like a jack pine branch or white pine, like big bristly, like bushy. It was like right in my face, and it was silhouetted like black, and I could see twilight, like a periwinkle blue, purplish. It was just really pretty in the distance in the skyline. So it was just a kind of a two-tone image. And then that went directly into seeing, and I'm going to show you, this was a quick sketch in the dark in the morning while I was sitting here having coffee. And I'm from Michigan, so, this resonates with me. And, pardon my chicken scratches, I was just trying to get it out there but the lower mitten of Michigan, and that was all in like a green color. And then the lakes surrounding it were like a dark gray, almost black. And then the UP was missing, and it was just this giant rectangular black box. So I don't know if that message is for somebody. You see some of my notes here. Because I also got some clairaudience during that too. And if there's somebody that is looking to maybe buy something in the UP, looking at property up there, maybe the black box is saying, not sure. I'm going to have to, kind of see. And sometimes these messages will come through, and then you won't know what they mean until days, sometimes weeks later, and all of a sudden you go, oh my God, that makes sense now. I associate a lot of things. I mentioned that I see a lot of animals. I also see, and I see in color, and it's generally very graphic, as I said. But when I see the colors in my visualizations, I associate those to your chakras, your energy centers. So the green in this would represent your heart chakra. And it was green and black. Well, heart. And then the next thing that came to mind was home. Michigan is home. And then clear as day, I heard, your head is blocking your heart. Balance logic and intuition. So I think guides are trying to come through that if you're experiencing a situation right now that it's a head over heart kind of deal, and finding the balance between that, sometimes it's hard when you're emotionally attached to something. So maybe you're having to let go of something, I don't know what, something, those connections aren't coming yet. I'll keep asking. And if anybody, if that resonated, if that drawing made any kind of sense to anybody, please feel free to contact me and comment, or send me an email at amandabyers3576@gmail.com, and let me know, because as of right now, this vision doesn't mean much to me other than Michigan is my home, and head blocking heart. I mean, I can associate with that with some things. But anyway, I wanted to just kind of share that with you. And I'll give you just kind of a quick little view of my notebook. So as I'm taking notes, I'm kind of jotting things down. It's very random, and it kind of goes over, and I got arrows pointing to different things. Because a lot of times while I'm thinking and processing and figuring this out, I'll get something that pops into my head. I'll see something, or I'll hear something that may resonate, and connects with this. So we'll get started here. Now, I've explained in the last 2 videos that this is a learning curve. I'm learning how to interpret my mediumship gifts through cards. Part of me to kind of keep it generalized and not so personal, so that I can learn and deliver messages correctly. So you want to learn along a little bit. The great thing is all of this spiritual practice really is about intention. And as I mentioned before, I say prayers of protection. I call on, Archangel Michael and Raphael and Saint Germain and the Violet Flame. Ask all of our ascended masters and Jesus and Buddha and Kuan Yin to guide us and watch over us, protect us in golden, white, and violet light. Imagine ourselves in a big bubble and connecting. There's a connecting to the God cord. So it's a visualization. A lot of this is visualization and opening up the right side of the brain in order to receive messages. So it's opening the creative centers. Which, interesting, now we go back to the head over heart kind of thing. Logic over intuition. So that kind of makes sense there. So we'll get started, and I've been doing this kind of, and I think I'm going to veer off of the whole past, present. I'm just going to kind of read the cards off as to what they are and kind of try to get an overall read out of what all 4 may mean, because I don't have somebody specific sitting in front of me. I don't know, so I'm going to try to keep it as general as possible so that as many messages that can come through do come through. And the connections are for you to make. Anytime you see a medium, an intuitive, a card reader, the connections are for you. And you might not connect it right away. I've had things pop up months later that I'm like, oh my God, it totally makes sense. So, and I remember so-and-so told me about that, and I've been watching, and you'll forget about it, and then all of a sudden it'll come up and you'll remember, oh, that's right. Now with this is a little bit more of a tutorial on the cards themselves, explaining what the suits are, because I'm learning them myself. I'm hoping to get to the point where I no longer need my little cheat sheet, where I just kind of, my cat is clawing my bum. Hi, Jinxie. Come on, babies. So, get to the point where I can recognize the card and go, okay, I know the 3 of Hearts or the 3 of Cups means X, Y, and Z, quick. Some of it's memorization, but, there's a reason why that card gets pulled. It's, you focus on the cards. The one thing that I was taught too, and this was just a suggestion, because Connie, a warrior light, who was my mentor, is my mentor, her mother used just regular playing cards, so I thought that was kind of cool, and I connected with that. And she said her mom always, when she would do a read, would knock the deck 3 times. I just did that twice. I've already done the read, but knock the deck 3 times. Something about just knocking the old energy out of it, ask the new question, back to the intention, and then the answers that you need, not necessarily the ones that you want, will come through. So, get started. I keep saying that. Okay, so the 3 of Hearts or the 3 of Cups in the traditional tarot means friendship, celebration, and collaboration. Good times, like good times. The number 3 itself represents growth, creativity, and expansion. Hearts or cups represent water or summer, emotions, emotional experiences, love, matters of the heart, relationships, intuition, and psychic abilities. It is associated to Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. It is an internal energy card. So internal energy is, something within you. Hearts or cups are associated to the heart chakra. I brought up the chakras a few times. Those I have a little better understanding of than I do the cards yet. But the heart chakra, to me, has always come through the color green, like the brightest, most beautiful oak leaf on a tree in the middle of summer. Just that really vibrant green that kind of glows. That's what comes through for me. It may come through a little differently. Now, this is another thing. If you're trying to visualize, some people can't. You can learn to visualize. That's part of meditation. It helps you get there, and it's opening up your right brain and your imagination. So think of something green if you can't think of a tree leaf, and then you're going to see the color green when you close your eyes. And that way, that's a visualization technique, and then that will help you focus on the color itself, which then, once you can hold that image in your mind's eye there, you can then focus on that green expanding and send healing energy. If the green looks murky, that might be to me, it can symbolize that your heart chakra is closed or out of balance. There's something awry. If it's very vibrant, then it's very well balanced, and you're in good shape. So, some people do see pink. Connie said that, she sometimes sees pink. I believe she had said that. So, everybody, the chakras colors are there. I'm not sure who's designated, but they work, and those that can visualize can see them. So it is, your heart chakra is the 4th energy center out of 7 chakra energy centers. It is right in the middle of your chest. So if you want to send healing to your heart chakra, just place your hand directly in the center of your chest, just wide hand out, and close your eyes and focus on that and pray. Ask for healing. Healer, heal thyself. You can. So it is considered the bridge between earthly and spiritual. So just looking at that, and I see 2 hearts right off the bat. So this to me tells me that, there's definitely connections being made here. And I'm actually going to go off the cuff, even though I've written down all this. Now looking at that, recognizing that is that there is so much masculine energy here. Lots and lots. This being more of an authoritative leader, wise, generous, mature, cultured individual that I feel, being tied and being right next to each other here, that the friendship, celebration, and collaboration may be somewhere within this realm. Maybe there's an older male figure coming into your existence or is already entered your existence that is going to bring back some of the celebration and friendships and collaborations that you had in the past. The number 3 is a great balance card too. So the heart chakra, back to that, it governs love, compassion, empathy, and forgiveness, enabling deep, unconditional connections with oneself and others. Balanced heart chakra fosters peace. If it's blocked, it could manifest as jealousy, resentment, and isolation. It can also, signs of blockages could also be emotional pain, holding grudges, fear of intimacy, or feeling closed off or unloved. If you have any of those feelings, and send some love to your heart. Send some love there. Send some healing. Ask for healing. Pray for healing. Put your hand on your heart and feel that energy that you're giving to yourself and from your higher power, helping your heart heal. Because one of the biggest blockages with your heart is grief. It can really, really block the heart chakra and shut it down. So opening that back up and balancing it, there's yoga, meditation, there's heart opening poses that you can look at for through yoga that you can work on and try opening that energy center back up. And the biggest thing is allowing yourself to process the grief, you know. And for everybody that comes in different times, and it takes longer for some than others, and depending on the level of grief too, I feel, you know, how connected you were. So with that being said, that kind of reads both of these. We've kind of got, you know, an older male, authoritative, mature leader, mastery in the outer world. So those two together, I think, are going to be really good in what's coming for us here. And, Lord knows the world needs some good now. And the King of Hearts, which I went over, or the King of Cups, emotional balance, cultured, loyal, respected. I did mention all those. Okay. So with that, then what's, you know, this is an influence that is now, and then maybe, I mean, there's a lot of masculine energy. So this could be an older and then a younger masculine energy. It could be a group of people working in threes. It could be three people working together here. So if any of this resonates with you, because some of this is, I mean, I was planning on reading off and kind of going through, and I'm going to interpret too, but I'm feeling like this is definitely a trinity of some sort. And when I say masculine influence, I have been known, I have a very masculine presence. I always have. I've been a tomboy. I've been mistaken for being gay most of my life. Not that I need to correct anybody, but I am not. So, you know, when you say masculine energy, it could be somebody that's just a very strong masculine presence, has a very assertive presence to them. And just throwing that out there for interpretation, because I feel like it needed to be said for somebody. And, okay, so on to, let's see, we got the Jack of Diamonds or the Knight of Wands. Knights always represent action, pursuit, adventure, and drive. Represents movement or taking things to the next level. I got this card the other day. I've gotten a lot of Knights lately. So representing a younger, less experienced masculine energy. So this is somebody that's a little bit younger that might be playing into this. So you've got wisdom and age, and then, the three, back to the friendship, collaboration, and celebration. Like, I think these three are really going to do something together. So if you've been pondering working on a partnership or doing something with a couple friends to get things going, I'm going to say this is a big old yes. Go for it. And that was what just came through too, was go for it. Go for it. So if you're on the verge of making a decision on something like that, this is all positive stuff here, I feel. So the diamonds, those are fire spring representation. They represent passion, creativity, action, inspiration, confidence, movement, action, business, and career. So I think that's, again, tying these three together. Just trying to look here. Adventure, impulsiveness, passion, and movement. That's the overall Knight of Wands meaning. The chakra centers that the wands are associated to are the solar plexus. I have messed that one up every time I try to say it. And the sacral chakras. So that would be your second and third. The solar plexus is the third. It is located in the upper abdomen, near the navel. So like just above your belly button. It represents sun. It's considered the inner sun, the inner light. It is your gut instinct. It represents personal power, transformation, and self-worth. So, yeah, this is great. It also represents fire, personal power, self-esteem, identity, willpower, and it's also related to digestion. So, which makes sense, your gut instinct. So if you've got some digestion problems, if you've got anything going on in your abdomen area, this is, again, an area that you may need to focus on doing some healing practices, sending some good healing, loving energy to that area. Balancing it promotes confidence, purpose, and clear decision making. So you really want that balanced. I mean, just to make the right decisions, help you, not make decisions rashly. You need that clear. If it's imbalance, it can manifest as low self-worth, procrastination, digestive issues. So if you're having digestive issues, more than likely your solar plexus is blocked, or at least got some issues. Another blockage is arrogance. Being overly arrogant can block your gut, your solar plexus. The sacral chakra is I don't know if I said this. The solar plexus is associated with yellow. So, again, visualize yellow. You can't think about staring, sitting outside in the sun and you feel that golden light. If that doesn't bring yellow to your mind's eye, then try picturing a lemon. Anything that you can associate that's yellow. And focus on the color until you can then kind of clear your mind of all the other stuff going on, and then focus on healing the chakra. You can take that color and go, okay, I'm focusing on yellow. Okay, now I want to focus on that yellow in my sacral, or keep screwing that up, solar plexus. And just imagine, your belly filling with golden, beautiful sunlight and feeling the warmth and healing that's there that you can give to yourself. So if you got some digestive problems or diabetes or anything going on within the abdomen area, then you probably should focus on some healing there. The sacral is the second energy center. It is located in the lower abdomen, just below the navel. It is orange, so that's an easy one. Picture an orange, picture a basketball. If you can't, just to start to visualize, and then imagine that filling up your lower abdomen with just orange healing light. It is considered the element of water. It's flow, flexibility, and emotion, creativity, pleasure, and emotional balance. Now, if it's blocked, you could be emotionally numb, lack of desire, and fear of pleasure. Those are, any of those things. So that's just a good way to kind of know that, hey, I need to work on that area and send some love to it. Diamonds are also internal energy, so a lot of this is kind of, making sure you kind of check yourself along the way, making sure that you're staying on course, that you're keeping yourself, because the end result right here, the King of Wands, or the King of Diamonds, associated to Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, again, internal energy with the Wands, diamonds. It represents leadership, center stage, and assertive. I think I said something about being assertive back in here, too. So, I think this team here, whatever's transpiring with these male energies that are friends and that you guys are going to celebrate, and somebody is going to be in the front center stage here. maybe telling you need to be a little bit more assertive. But I think good things are all coming here. This is a pretty good read, and I hope this kind of gives you, some motivation or some positive juju to maybe, if you were on the fence about making a decision. And partnering up came up yesterday too, so I feel like, and I keep asking as a collective whole, so maybe these, again, I don't know who I'm supposed to reach. I go back and listen afterwards, because sometimes as I'm talking and reading through these, I kind of get lost, and I don't necessarily remember everything that I just said, and so hearing it again later, it kind of helps me, like, oh, yeah, no, and it's helping me make better connections. Like today, that was the first time I was like, I'm just not even going to go there. This is just kind of read it as I see it. I'm not, and have my cheat sheet for a while, because I still need to know what the cards mean, but I'm getting better. I'm starting to associate the suits, knowing which ones are what for the most part. Some of the details I'm still murky on, but I'll get there. And I appreciate you following along, watching along. If you got anything out of it, please comment. Share this video with anybody that you're, that might be interested in learning or learning along, or has any questions, wants a private read. You can contact me via email, amandabyers3576@gmail.com. I can do a couple different options. I'm offering where I can, if you've got a direct question, I don't even need to know the question. You can just contact me and we can work out the details. And you can just say, I want a reading, and we'll go over the scheduling and costs and all that then. And I can actually record something like this, do your spread, pull it, write down, do a meditation like I did this morning. I might get some more visuals and give you a good written read, or send you a little video. I'm still figuring that part out. At this point, I've just done in person, so even being online is a different thing for me. But I'm practicing, which is helping, and it's helping me, get messages. Just a positivity. Part of my prayer is I'm only allowing only the highest and purest messages to come through, and those with the best of intention and 100% pure white light. It's part of my protection prayer. I do say it right before I even come on here to kind of hopefully pass that good juju on to anybody that is watching, and make sure that they are protected as well. You don't want to open yourself up to things that healing can be hard. And again, I mentioned this before. This is all about, I know there's always been a stigma in history, at least in my family's. Tarot cards, they're evil, witches. No. It's just a way for spirit or for the universe, your higher self. I mean, a lot of times it's like the question you're asking, and especially a lot of times when I'm reading for you, if you were right in front of me, I'd be like, here, you pull the cards. That way your energy is completely in the cards, and then when you pull those 4 cards, then that's all you, and this is a collective, so this could be, I mean, I try to keep it as vague as possible, but sometimes, like I said, I feel like some things need to be said, and I don't know whether it's for, somebody out there that may be watching this someday up the road, because even if you could get this video 3 months from when it was recorded, you still might get something from it. That's the really cool thing about mediumship, and the way that loved ones on the other side will try to communicate with us. They get your attention. Something grabs your attention. You're like, what? Hey, what? And when you think of them, you know that they are right there with you. I fumbled a couple times yesterday and said duty. And that's exactly how he'd say it. And I know my big brother Scotty is always here with me because he used to love this stuff. We would sit around and kind of play with it. And he'd always ask me questions. He always believed in me. He was one of my biggest supporters for this. Hey, kid. So that brings me to, they are trying to get messages through, and it may not all resonate with you, bits and pieces of it, and if it brings somebody or something to the front of your mind, and even if it's a memory, then know that that person is probably right there with you, they're trying to give you pieces of the puzzle. They can't communicate like you and I. Not that they can't, maybe I just can't hear that well. That's a good possibility too. But it's, which is why the cards, so then I don't necessarily have to hear it. I just kind of lay this down and the card says it for us. Just to kind of give a little explanation to what I understand thus far. So if you've got any questions too, feel free to throw those in the comments. Feel free to email me. And I think that'll be good for today. I'll do another one tomorrow. See how it goes. I'll ask same questions. I'm going to focus a little bit longer on my meditation tomorrow because I might just I want to see if I can get some really good I cannot talk. I'm thinking somebody here might have had a stroke. That's another thing with mediumship. You'll notice sometimes your body, your speech will get slurred. And a lot of times that's when they're trying to come through. So somebody here had a stroke that is trying to come through right now. I definitely feel like it's a male figure, an older father figure, stepfather, uncle. I have a pretty good idea who it is. So, at least for me. But I want to explain that they do piggyback. So, and obviously I'm sitting here by myself, but as a collective whole, if there is something that resonates, they will piggyback to get that message through to you tomorrow. Be like, hey, you listening to me? So, just making connections, putting pieces of your puzzle together with messages that come through in various ways, and it can connect to so many. Connie explained it, every one of us has probably a minimum, I'm just throwing this out, a minimum of 7 loved ones from the other side that are probably waiting to hear. Upwards of 20, 30, hundreds. So how she does what she does and walks into a whole venue with 250, I'm like, okay, you just that is a lot of energy. And to decipher it, and she's been doing this for a lifetime, so it's just, she's sharp, man. She's good. And if you want to learn, get a hold of her, man. She does classes. She's phenomenal. She's so high energy and just a beautiful soul, and all about, healing and helping others and getting messages through so that you can heal. That's my main goal with this, is being able to help others heal, and if I can get some messages through to help their heart heal, help their mind ease a little bit. And I'm not there yet with the cards. Still working on it in other avenues, but generally, I like I said, if I sit with you one-on-one, I can get a better read for sure. But this has helped me practice to maybe where I could do a small venue or a small group of people, but it's not really sounding like something I want to do at this point. I'm good with being behind the camera, not seen. So here's the cards. Take what you can. Hopefully something came through that was positive for you. And if you like this, subscribe. I post pictures of, I'm a foodie. I got food up there. I travel around, take pictures of nature, the animals. Yeah, there's all kinds of fun. And nature's a big thing. That's and that just brought me back to the pine tree visualization. I think there's a message to get through that, and as a collective whole, I believe this is 100%. Get back out in nature. Like, go enjoy it. Go find the simple beauties in it, and go breathe. The best place to learn how to meditate is out in the woods, on the side of the beach. When just where it's quiet, peaceful, calm, and it's just you and nature. In my experience, I find that to be the most peaceful place, and when I get the clearest messages. So find your happy place that you can go and do that and focus on your own healing. So hope you enjoyed this. Let's see where it goes. I'm going to keep doing these every day and keep trying to learn a little bit more and get more comfortable with these. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a blessed day.